Hey guys, welcome back to AIR Reptile Rescue. This next video we're going to talk about in the king snake series is the proper handling of your king snakes. Um, One of the reasons that I talk about this a lot with proper handling is one, it's going to help you tame down your snake. Number two, it's going to protect your snake from getting hurt during handling and stuff like that. The king snake is a little bit more different from your ball python or corn snake with handling. Uh, so keep these things in mind whenever I mention them, and try to live by these rules, mainly because of the fact that it's going to help you and your snake to be able to get along and stuff like that. Uh, the first thing we're going to talk about is how you should approach and pick up your snake. Like with your ball python and your corn snake, you don't want to reach for their face or their head, mainly because of the fact that if they see your hand, they're going to think, okay, it's a predator, it's something that's going to come hurt me, and they're going to want to get to where they want to strike, or they're going to try to get away from you. Uh, I always say pick up close to the middle of the body, but make sure you have that other hand to where it supports them. So you're using both hands at the same time, but you also have control. But never go from the head of the snake, just to make sure that they know that you're not a threat to them. One of the ways that I do it too, though, whenever I have an attitudinal snake like Xena, is I'll go and I'll touch from about the middle of her body and rub down towards her tail. And then once I see her body start to relax and she's not all tensed up and stuff like that, I usually go to pick her up. Uh, but I always make sure I have both hands available to support her body. Same thing with your king snake. It'll be that same thing. Is just make sure you're supporting that body with both hands. Now that I've done talked about that, the difference between the corn snake and your ball python or your corn snake, for your king snake, with handling and with holding and handling it, it's going to be different because they are quicker than corn snakes or ball pythons, and they do move a little bit more. So once you're sitting there and you're holding it or you pick it up, always have that one hand available to move it. So if your king snake is moving and you're being quick about it, make sure that you go to support its body as it's moving along. If they're getting darty or they're getting jumpy during handling, go ahead and put them back in their enclosure, let them rest, and then try again. But now that I've talked about that, the last thing I want to mention is the safety of your snake and placing them back in their enclosure. Like I said, king snakes are great escape artists and they're very quick about escaping. So always, always, always keep your eyes on your snake whenever you're putting them back in. One of the things I recommend putting this king snake back in its enclosure is put it in its hide. Like, let it go into its hide on its own as you're putting it in. Because usually they're going to go into their hide and kind of lay back and just chill out and figure out where they're at again. But if you release them back into their main enclosure without them going into their hide or underneath something, like their decorations or whatever, they're going to see that opportunity because the cage is open, and they're going to move pretty quick and try to get to the edge of the enclosure, like the glass, and they'll get up and try to get over the top of the enclosure and get out. And like I said, they're very quick, so they can do it pretty swiftly. I've actually had it happen with me one time. I've never owned a king snake myself, but from personal experience of handling them, I had one that actually did get out pretty quick and got away from me, and it took me a minute to catch him. So if you are putting them back in, remember that they do get out pretty quick, so you have to be quick about getting them in there and getting them secured. Now, with that being said, whenever you're putting them in there, though, if you're putting them and you let their head go into their hide, you kind of show them, hey, there's your hide, go in there, and you're going to put them in, support that body until it's fully down on the floor of their enclosure. Because if you let it drop, it can injure them internally, which can kill your snake if the internal injuries are bad enough. But not just that. I mean, it just shows your snake that, hey, I can actually trust you whenever you're holding me. They won't fear being put in or taken out, that you're going to drop them. I'm gonna wrap this one up, guys. For parents, if you're getting your kids a snake, please take my recommendations to heart. Don't do a king snake, especially if they're young and they're still learning. Don't get a king snake as the first one because of how fast and swift they move. Due to the fact that your child won't really understand, hey, I need to use both hands to handle it, or I need to keep my hands moving with my snake to control its body. And they're taking that chance of that snake falling and getting hurt.
But a young child isn't really quick enough to keep up with.
Yeah, and they're not going to be fast enough to really keep up with the snake's movements. But also, if the snake starts to move or something, the child's going to get curious or go to grab it to try to control it, thinking, okay, I've got to keep control over it. And they may actually go to reach for the head, and the snake may try to bite. So, with king snakes, because of their bitey nature, if they feel threatened or feel like they're going to be in danger, don't get them for the younger kids. I recommend about 8 to 10 years old at a minimum for a king snake. I really go 10-year-old range because they've got enough time under their belt to know what they're getting into and to know how they have to handle and have to move to control that snake. So please keep that in mind, guys. Please heed to that. That the younger children just they need that more time to learn how to properly handle that snake and how to take care of it and be able to control it. So that's why I don't recommend the younger kids get a king snake. If you are getting a younger child a snake, do a corn snake or a python for their first one. It's usually the best ones to learn with, and they're pretty docile from the beginning. So just want to mention that before I close out this video, due to the fact that the handling of a king snake is a little bit more complex. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the comment section. Make sure they're kid appropriate. I do have children that watch these videos, so I want the comments to be appropriate for all ages. Not just that. I mean, if you're commenting publicly on somebody's videos, and it's not age appropriate, do you think your mother would approve of it? Do you think your mother would like a rude comment or a nasty comment? I don't think so either. I know my mother wouldn't like me doing that to somebody because of them just doing something they love and trying to help others or trying to entertain somebody. So please keep it age appropriate for the children. That's all I'm asking. Because really this is why I do my videos, just to educate kids, and I want them to learn, not to have to see inappropriate comments. I've had multiple inappropriate comments posted on my videos before. Those individuals have been blocked. I don't like blocking people from commenting, just in case you have a question or anything. I don't want to have to block, but if it's inappropriate, don't put it on there, please. If you feel it's not age appropriate, please send it to my Facebook page at AIR Reptile Rescue through messaging on there, and I will answer pretty promptly. But if it's not age appropriate, please don't comment it. If it's just saying thank you, you're doing great work, anything like that, feel free to post it. It shows the kids that, hey, it's helping others, so it'll help them learn and they'll be more interested in it. But guys, we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Whenever you do it, click all. And every time I post a new video, you guys will get a notice saying that there's a new video posted and you can watch. But we're going to wrap it up. As we say at AIR, we love what we do and we do what we love. And it's so true here. I love all of my reptiles. I love all of my animals, my cat, my dog, my hamster. Really everything I own here is loved and taken care of very well. Their health and happiness is more important to me than taking care of myself half the time. So don't forget, just hit those notifications, show some support. We love the support you guys give us, and we appreciate it. So, as we like to say from the South, y'all have a great night. Let the good times roll, and come back and see us. Y'all come.